Welcome to the AIESEC International 1718 Plan presentation. And as you guys have seen in this previous week, we got the opportunity to launch to you guys the first parts of this plan, kind of like a teaser in the beginning with a mini part of the plan, then expanded a little bit more to give you guys a little bit more information about how the plan is going to look like for the term 1718. Super excited! Yes! And to start this plan presentation, we're going to start it with what we stand for, right? Because as a generation, we need to stand for something in common and believe in something in common. And that starts with what we believe is going to be the generation stand for 1718, which is raised to be real, alive to fulfill Gen 1720. So I'll expand on that a little bit just to try to give you guys a little bit of an understanding of what do we really mean when we say raised to be real, alive to fulfill Gen 1720. The whole idea behind that element, singular element in itself of raised, comes from this moment where we get the opportunity in 2018 to celebrate 70 years of AIESEC, 70 years of impact, 70 years where we as an organization have been trying and every single day, like relentlessly, to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. And that idea of being real is staying true to our promise, staying true to who we are, staying true to what it really means to be an AIESECer. And that's why we say that that first element or that first component of what we really want to stand for is that idea of being raised to be real. Moving to the second part or the second segment of the stand, which says alive to fulfill. We truly aspire in everything we do to achieve fulfillment of our own potential first, before we look at fulfilling the potential of a whole generation of young 1.8 billion young people around the world. We want to foster an organization where it's okay to fail. You understand that every failure is a learning. Every failure is an opportunity, as long as there is an accountability to delivering what we promise and what we commit to, because we live for that every single day. Generation 1720, keeping that trend and learning from the last year, where it's not only about looking at short-term impact, as important as that is, it's also important to plant seeds where the next generations would be able to see their trees and get the opportunity to think beyond the context of one term and unite all under that umbrella of being one as a generation. Moving on from that point of what we stand for as a generation, we believe that as AIESEC International, we are there to harness that power of the collaborative network. But in the same time, even when we came to think of like, okay, what is that going to be that thing that directs us during our planning, we were like, yes, as a service body for this organization, our responsibility is to build an ecosystem that is capable of empowering this movement. How can we give focus to these different elements that can empower this organization at the moment where we're trying to transform into making our movement a reality? And through that, we were capable of identifying key blocks or key areas through which we would give that focus. And it starts from that very simple element of understanding who we are. We had a lot of conversation about that during IC, which is that element of embodying the who, or giving focus to building capacity in the AIESECers that are capable of developing leadership in every experience afterwards, or creating the impact that we want to see. And that element of working for the who or embodying the who comes out in the format of a lot of our capacity building projects, or comes out in the format of projects that are related to talent capacity building, management capacity building, talent attraction, etc., where we want to see how can we as an organization start giving leverage and focus to our people and start making sure that our people that are going through an AIESEC experience are people that embody the values of what it means to truly be an AIESECer in their every single day. And we wanted that to be the foundation of everything that we do from that point on. It's super cool to have the digital infrastructure, to have the finances, etc., but it's always gonna start from the people. Moving on from that point, the second building block when it comes to the plan is the leadership we develop, which is picking up on that idea that we focused on a lot last year, which is that clarity of the what. As an organization, as an AIESECer, we're responsible for delivering standards to our customers that facilitate an inner and outer journey that enable us to develop the leadership that we want to see for the world, period. So how can we enable better interfaces, better tools that can enhance our ability to develop leadership in every experience? That can also happen through having a seamless digital ecosystem, an ecosystem or an AIESEC.org that is capable of housing all our different platforms and making sure that we have not only the tools for success externally when it comes to facing our customers, proper user experiences when it comes to facing our customers, whether if these customers are young people or these customers are our partners. But also in the same time, making sure that we have an expo that is interactive and that is seamless and that enables us as young people that are delivering these experiences to have better tools that can empower that. Youth for Global Goals, one of our strongest external flagship programs, and we're looking at that idea of how can Youth for Global Goals become a growth engine for AIESEC. How can Youth for Global Goals not just be perceived as a campaign, but how can Youth for Global Goals become an engine that drives us as an organization forward through something that we are one of the pioneers at, through something that we're on the frontier of when it comes to engaging young people towards achievement of the global goals. Making AIESEC sustainable, a battle that started in the last year, a battle that is as important than any other battle in the organization. Because at the end of the day, if you come to look at what it truly means to be sustainable for the organization, that element of health, that element of focusing on profitability, focusing on sustainability, is what's going to ensure that AIESEC has a better tomorrow, or AIESEC has a chance at creating impact today and tomorrow. And last but not least, we're going to thrive to create purposeful partnerships. Partnerships that are worth it. Partnerships that are aligned or with like-minded organizations that see things the way that we see them. Not partnerships thus for the purpose of revenue generation or ensuring sustainability. At the end of the day, when you come to look at these different building blocks of the plan, we need to have a team or we need to have a group of people that are going to enable that plan or that are going to be responsible for different aspects of that plan. And that's what you can see right there. Whether when it comes to the network strategy team, finance team, brand and customer experience, partnerships development, and information management. The idea is to give you guys a perspective on or putting faces to those names that you usually see out there or putting faces to those labels that you see every once in a while out there, because it's not only about the label, it's also about the people. And this is a little bit more of detail about the different responsibilities of the different people within the team that you can refer to at any given point in time, whether in this recording or in any of the previous documents that include the plan launch. Something that is very important is to understand that to be able to deliver upon this direction or upon this focus, the idea is the roadmap implementation is the bottom line of this. And that happens or that appears in the format of foundational and non-foundational projects. The foundational projects that we have at hand in the term 17-18 are AIESEC Hub implementation or implementation of our learning hub that a lot of you guys are getting or got the opportunity to see in the previous period of time, which is called Cornerstone, and it's something that we're giving a lot of focus towards making sure that more and more members have access to learning content through that platform. Embedding the leadership development assessment into talent management processes, how can we make sure that we're capable of not only looking at leadership development when it comes to our customers, our external customers, but also looking at the leadership development of our members, and how can we be able to evaluate and assess that in the best possible way. Implementation of accounting software, so we would be able to consolidate our financial data and make sure that our financial data is accurate and is live. Implementation of the customer flow, both on, we did a very strong progress last year when it comes to customer flow implementation on the use side, but this year it's also about implementation of the customer flow on a partner's side. And this is something that is very important to differentiate. Finance standards implementation, which was a battle that started last year until it became now a foundational project where implementation of the finance standards 100% is the job of every single person across this plenary, not only the job of the people that work in the finance department. And last but not least, improve ELD products, which is our bread and butter. It is the core of our business. And improving these products, GV, GT, GE, is fundamental for us to ensure as an organization that our core product or our key source of creation of impact and revenue in the same time is continuously remaining progressive and remaining aligned to external trend and capable of being ahead of the curve. Moving on from that point to non-foundational projects, which where upon prioritization, which was a prioritization mechanism that happened during the planning process, it happened by both gathering perspective from the AI 17-18 team, AI 16-17 team, feedbacking with the supervising group, and feedbacking with the steering team. And the key priority non-foundational projects that are going to be there for the first semester are management capacity building, which is a project that is completely focused on, oriented on building our network's capability to be able to deliver more leadership development experiences. Implementation of brand advocacy on YOP. How can we capture the stories of our customers or our exchange participants and make sure that we're capable of using that content in terms of showcasing the leadership we develop? Digitalizing value delivery. How can we empower our network to deliver better value to our customers through simple tools? Partners attraction and conversion. How can we make sure that our value proposition to our partners is clear and is capable of attracting them further to our newly to be platform, which is Partners Opportunity Portal? Implementation of single payment, which is researching the line of how can we make sure that our customers are only paying once for a service that they're getting, and last but not least, online payment on YOP and POP. I can't believe that we're in a generation, or we're at a moment now, that we're in the year of 2017 going to 2018, and as an organization, we still don't have solutions that enable our customers to pay online. That is something that shows how much ground we have to cover when it comes to our digital game. So, if you look at it, these are the different people that are responsible for implementation of different parts of these projects, or that are the final responsible for different ones of these projects. So when it comes to Improve ELD, you find it has 4 different elements. It has an element of measure of impact and youth for global goals. That is the responsibility of Tanya. It has an element of implementation of the new MOS completed, which is Bianca's responsible for. It has an element of supply and demand alignment across the global network. The team leader for that is Tacha. And last but not least is an element of product development, which is going to be responsibility of something called the product couples, which I will explain exactly in a moment. The rest of the strategies you can clearly see who are the different responsible for the projects. And then usually comes a question, which is, okay, what about the projects that are not on this list? What about the non-foundational projects that are not on this list? For this, we have this amazing individual that's responsible for innovation strategy, which is called Daphne, that's going to be following up with all the network pilots and with all the people that signed up for these projects to make sure that there is progress in them simultaneously. And once we are capable of finishing one of the projects that are currently at hand, the first thing that's going to happen, the next project in priority order will be then moved into the team. It will have a project team. It will have resources allocated to it. So our ambition that by the end of the term we're capable of delivering upon all the projects of the roadmap would be something that would be fulfilled. So it's kind of like a continuous iteration process. So while those projects are still being worked on, the rest of the projects that are being followed up by Daphne have minimum valuable products being created for them, have progress that is being created in them. So once they're moved on, they can not be starting from zero or not be starting from scratch, but already starting with some solid progress in them. The whole idea then at the end of the day is that we were thinking, okay, so how can we enhance our ability to deliver services to the network? And through that, we're doing a lot of sensing before our planning process. And one of those key elements that we feel that we can support with in this upcoming term of 17-18 is that idea of the product couples, which is how can we continuously ensure that we are doing product development or creating hacks that can enable us to enhance the delivery of our products. And for that, we're going to have 3 product couples, one for GV, one for GT, and one for GE. Their job is continuously, week in, week out, to gather data, gather customer inputs, analyze that data, create new solutions to test them, validate these hypotheses, and make sure that these solutions are being scaled down through regional offices, as they have a very strong interface with product responsibles within the regional offices. But also in the same time, if these solutions that they're creating require something that is a system change, require support by another department, they have that interface across the AIESEC International team to ensure that we're capable of progressing and enhancing the quality of our products, but also the scalability of our products at any given point in time. Besides these responsibilities, you find that there are different responsibilities also within the team, and one of them is global boards. And currently we have 3 active global boards, which is the Global Expansions Board, which is chaired by Mr. Karan, and his responsible on AIESEC International is Daphne. The Internal Control Board, I think you guys are all familiar with that one, which is chaired by Daphne, and the responsible on AIESEC International is Thomas. And last but not least, the Global Finance Board, which is chaired by Thomas, and the responsible on AIESEC International is Farhan. As you can see, the name pool is very small, so I had to use second names for some of the names over there. So these are different responsibles in case you want to contact them, in case you have any questions related to any of these topics, whether expansions, internal control board when it comes to quality assurance and ensuring that we're delivering leadership in every single one of our experiences, or to the Global Finance Board, feel free to reach out to these individuals. At the end of the day, some people come and ask me, okay, so what is our bottom line? What is really the one thing that we're all fighting for? And I tell you guys, it's super simple. It's 100% fulfillment of the targets and 100% fulfillment of the roadmap. That is what we're going to fight for from our first day to the last day of our term. That's what we're going to have dashboards for. That's the communication analytics that we're going to be putting out there through internal comms. That's what's going to be in the reward and the recognition, because we believe that as a generation, this is what we want to fight for. We want to fight for the 100%. We want to fight for an organization that is capable of delivering upon its promises. And this is those group of people that are going to be trying to service and support you in terms of making that happen. These are their contacts. If you need us at any given point in time, just feel free to reach out to us. Because at the end of the day, we believe that we can be a generation 1720 that is, at the end of the day, raised to be real and alive every single day of our term to be able to fulfill upon our promise.